Hello, guys, and welcome to our regular Kyma Core SIG meeting. Your moderator today is Ahmed Abdullah, and Lukasz Gornicki is helping me in taking notes. Today, our agenda is starting with a very exciting topic about releasing Kyma 0.5, and we have Jose Cortina to tell us more about it. Jose, you can take it from here.
Yeah, thanks, Ahmed. So really excited to have a new release available in GitHub since yesterday afternoon. So this is our release 0.5.0, still on our initial phase of development, but it has a very large amount of changes which have been included, and we have, as usual, our changelog in GitHub together with the release, and we have also posted a new blog post in our Kyma project.io page, which gives you all the details about the changes that we have included in this release. So it's been a while since the release before that, which was in October, and we've been very busy. So it's really difficult to pick out things out of this whole large amount of changes. So I invite you to have a look. I invite you to read through our blog post and to find out what you can benefit from the most.
Thank you, Jose. And yeah, definitely it's an exciting time in Kyma. For the next topic, we will also want to talk about one of the hot release features, which is Service Catalog UX, and a lot of these features, and this will be presented by Piotr. Piotr?
Okay, thanks, Ahmed. Let me just share my screen. Okay, please give me the access right to share.
No. Łukasz Gryński need to stop sharing.
Stop sharing, yeah.
Yeah.
Not recording, sharing, Łukasz.
I'm not recording, thank you. Let me stop sharing. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, then today I will do a demo for you, and that will be a journey through the service catalog user experience, where I will show you a bunch of improvements and new features we implemented, like the namespace resources from the service catalog, and the whole UI flow and backend we implemented in the Kyma service catalog. Then let's just start. I'm logged into the Kyma cluster. First of all, on the left navigation, you can see that we created a new structure for the service catalog views, where you can find a catalog, all of the service instances, and what's new, that are the brokers. Right now, I'm in the context of the environment, and those brokers are registered in that namespace, right? And the classes from those brokers are available only in that catalog. For example, if I will go to the another namespace like a stage, you see there is a different list of brokers, or even nothing. And of course, we still have the cluster service brokers. If we will go to the administration, there is the service brokers view, where we see, for example, hen broker, which is registered in the cluster manner. And that means the classes from that broker are available in the whole system. Okay, then let's back to the namespace view, to the catalog. As you can see, we already changed the main view of the service catalog, where we see all of the service classes available to provision. And right now you see, for example, Redis from the Helm broker, and classes from the Google GCP broker, and also as well some service classes that are coming from the external applications. and they just register the APIs, and they are exposed, APIs or events, and they are exposed through the service catalog. If we'll have more and more classes, we provided the really nice new filtering, where you can see some basic filters. We have some convention in the Kyma service catalog, where we can label some of the service classes, and those labels will be displayed in the main view. In comparison to tags, we introduced that to really mark some of the classes that, for example, if they are from the Helm broker, they are clearly marked that the service instance will be created in the Kubernetes, where the Kyma is installed. And on the other hand, we have the special labels like the connected applications, where we can see that that application came from the application called EC. That service class come from the application called EC prod. Of course, we have a bunch of tags, and the brokers really provide, some of the brokers providing a lot of tags, and we didn't we don't want to display them in that view. That's the reason we implemented those labels. And of course, we can filter through only the connected applications or the local service classes, and of course the default filtering, like see the classes from the Google, or I need to unassign that label from the SAP or GCP. That's a really nice feature. Then let's just, I can also show you some of the classes like the MySQL from the GCP, where we can start the wizard for the provisioning. We of course have some additional, besides the link to the documentation from the Google, we see the overview of that service class. We also see the details, where we can find what are the plans, parameters for the provisioning, if they are required or not, and even the information, also the input parameters for the bindings when the instances are already provisioned, and at the end also the credentials that the service binding will contain, and those environment variables can be used in the end application, where that binding will be injected. Okay, then let's go with the next features. Then let's go to the, I will take the Redis from the Helm broker. I will just install the Redis instance in the given Kubernetes. And to just do that, what we did next, we just simplified all of the wizards for the creation of the service instances and service bindings, service binding usages. I will go in details right now. And you can see that we can decide what type of plan I will use. I will use micro because it will use the in-memory database. It will give us much shorter time to really provision that instance. And of course, we already see the input parameters that are required or optional to create such an instance. If the class has empty list of those input parameters, that you will see nothing here. Then let's just create it. Of course, you also see that we are generating the names. Of course, it could be changed in case of service instance, but let's just take that one and create the instance. The next thing, we see the nice link that can point us to the service instance itself. You see that I'm ready navigate to the instances view. Also, as you can see that we have full URL that you can reach that service instance. That it also has changed since last release. And also one of the nicest feature is that we have the WebSockets. That means all of the things, or like you see, the status is already automatically updated through the WebSockets, and we almost added them everywhere where we're creating the bindings and so on. The next feature is also that under the plan, we can see what parameters were provided for the service instance provisioning. In that case, it's that guy, and that's also a new thing. And we split it in the service instance view. We can create a pure credentials. It's really a service binding from the service catalog, or we can already bound to the application the credentials. And let's just show you right now the credentials. As you can see also that there is a nice tooltips that we see also the description, what's under those let's say, business names, what are the custom resource definition used to provide such a functionality. Of course, it's also worth to mention that all of those things I'm presenting right now, it could be done from the CLI, and it's one-to-one. Then let's just create a credential. As you can see, the service binding for that Redis doesn't have any input parameters required. That, as you see, this is auto-created for us without any wizard. Then we can go to the secret. We see what environment variables are, what are the key value in the secret, and that thing could be injected to the application. We can, of course, decode it to see the values. And in the bound application, it's still nothing. That means I didn't inject it to anywhere. Then let's just prepare the end application. I will use for that the Lambda. Let's just create one. Let's call it Redis client. I will just leave the empty body because it's not really important to show how it works together, but just how the injection works. Let's just create that. Okay, it's in just deploying the Lambda and the kubeless. Then let's back to the instances view, and that was that guy with one credential. And let's now bind the Redis instance to that application. Then also that wizard is much simplified. We don't need to provide any names. They will be pre-generated for us. And also we change the way how we are picking up the end application where we want to inject the credentials. You can see right now we support deployment and function. In a minute, I will show how to extend the types of the end application during the runtime. Let's just pick up the Redis client. The next thing we introduce, we can provide the prefix for the service binding. That means every and each environment variable will contain the prefix. Then let's just name it Redis 1. It's really useful if the application, for example, would like to use 2 Redis instances, and we can just add the prefix to not have a collision of names for the environment variables. And of course, if at least one credential already exists, and I have the option to pick up the existing credential that I just created before, but let's just create the new one. Okay, then I've just clicked to do a job. To bind to the application, we see of course, we also see the statuses. That's a new feature that we see what's going on if really the binding to the application really works. In the secret view, we also have additional information that the prefix is used, and every environment variable will have such a guider. And you see also that the new credential is created, and it's really related to that service binding usage. Then let's back to Lambda view. And of course, it's really also supported from the Lambda view, and you see the name of the Redis instance, and also already indirectly the environment variables that we can use in the body of the function. Then let's just, I will show you now how to delete those stuff. We introduced the cascading delete. That means if the service bind, if you want to delete the credentials that could be shared across many applications, we can right now do that. And for example, that one, which is not used through any service binding usage, we can just delete it. And it's still one-to-one. And right now, when I want to delete the credentials that is used by the application, I clearly see that it will be used, and it will just stop working. And if I will do that, I have also auto deletion of the service binding usage. I don't know why, but I need to, in that one case, I need to refresh that, and you see also the service binding usage is deleted. We need to check it. Okay, and then that's what I wanted to show you in that area. Of course, the next thing I want to show you some error case. Then for that, I will just create one more time, but I will just speed up a bit the new service binding usage, and I will just reuse the name of the service binding to just simulate that the service binding usage is in the failed state. And for that, I will just show you how to. I will do that from the CLI, because from the UI point of view, I'm not able to break it really, because I'm only able to pick up the existing functions. And right now I will pick up not existing one. Then I will go to the CLI and broken service binding production. Okay, it's created. Excuse me, I need to pick up the right name. My mistake. Well, it should be okay. Sorry. I missed something. 1 second. Service binding graph. Okay, excuse me. I made a mistake. Probably I picked up the wrong service instance. But overall, we have also the indicators in the tabs that, for example, when I'm in that context, I will see that some credentials are failed. That means their statuses are in the error state. Okay, that's about the service catalog. Core things. The last thing I want to show you, it's about the namespace catalog. Then right now, as you can see in the production namespace, I have just EC-prod service classes from the remote application. When I will go to the stage, there is one service class from the different application, which is called EC stage. I will just show you how I did it. In the administration, we can go to the remote environments. We see those two external applications. Then in the prod, there are those promotions and orders. And there is the environment binding that namespace will see those definitions, and the service broker will be registered there. In case of the another application, you see there is only one service class together APIs and events, and is registered to stage. And I will just back to one more time to stage. You see Redis and that OCC API and events. And right now I will enable that EC-prod application classes into the stage namespace. Then I've just created the mapping. And when I will back to stage, to the catalog, we see also the promotions and orders here, right? And of course, in the other namespaces, it's nothing. Okay, then that's it for today. Next time, I will show you other features that we implemented in the brokers itself. Then thanks.
Thank you, Piotr. Lucas, can you please share your screen? Our next topic in the agenda is from the community slot, and we have Adam from PROW working group, who will present us the status of migrating to PROW as our open source CI. Adam?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Łukasz, can you stop sharing screen because I have a presentation?
Okay.
Sorry for that.
That was quick.
No, perfect.
Give me a second.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And let me start my presentation. Can you see first slide?
Yes.
We can see.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you. I would like to give you a status update about the migration to Pro. So first of all, we have up and running cluster with the Pro. You can access it using address status build Kyma project IO. Already we have 21 jobs defined. We have some jobs defined for the test infra repository. For example, in the test infra, we create some Docker images. So we have some jobs that validate them and publish them. We have also jobs that validate jobs definition itself. In the Kyma, for the Kyma repository, we migrate so far 2 components, binding usage controller and UI API layer. Also, we already have 2 integration jobs. First one, run Minikube on virtual machine and then run integration test. The second one, provision GKE cluster. On that cluster, install Kyma and there run integration tests. Additionally, we migrate some components from the Kyma console. We already have a prepared migration guide. You can find it in the test infra repository. Our migration plan is following. At the beginning, we want to have duplicate jobs. So one job will be for component will be in a Jenkins. The second one will be in a Pro. Only after we migrate all components, we disable jobs on the Jenkins. So far, we also do not send any events from the Pro to the GitHub to do not confuse developers. But later, when we disable jobs on Jenkins, we also start sending that events. So probably right now you can probably guess that our next goal is to migrate all our components. We already have defined Epic when you can watch the progress of that task. And besides migration of all components, we also need to spend some time on making that cluster production ready. So for example, we need to provide in easy way access to the logs from the jobs. We also need to provide some kind of metrics, and we need to work on the running jobs on a separate cluster. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. And now we leave you open for any questions about any of these topics.
Guys, one thing, because I missed one small thing. Could I also show it? It will take me 2 minutes. Or
yes,
so
sure.
I guess I should stop sharing again.
Okay. Because I forgot to show you the runtime definition of the new types of the end applications, and I just want to share it. Then I also found the reason that I was not able to simulate that error. I've just have not saved my change in the IDE. Then as you can see, that's what I meant, that we can see also when we will have a lot of bound applications, then if some of them are in error, we will just clearly see that also in the credentials view. But what I wanted to show you that bind application, and let's say we like now fully on the Knative, and we want to support the configuration custom resource as an end application where we want to inject something. Then I will just simulate that. We provided the functionality that we can do that in the runtime. We are doing that through the usage kind custom resource, which is under Kyma Service Catalog API. And I just can provide the name and also the resource where I'm providing the group kind and version. Right now, I don't have Knative into my cluster, then I will just map it to the Cubase functions, but I will just show you how it works. Then right now, I'm just adding a new definition. How that guy is called, sorry. It's configuration, sorry. Okay, it's created, and when I will just back here, 1 second, I need to. Then you can see that it's a dynamic informer or there, which really takes into account, as you see, also the Redis instance is displayed here because it's really the Lambda, but we can just add quite easily new end applications that at the end are wrapping the deployment itself. Then, okay, that's it I wanted to show. Thanks, guys.
Piotr, is there a specific use case for this that you have in mind with supporting?
Yes, for example, we had the conference for the Cloud Next when we are asked to provide automatic injection to the configuration of the Knative, and we needed to really amend that in the controller. And right now we can just add it in the runtime. But it could be, you can define the pod even as your end application, not a deployment. And right now, a lot of open source projects just wrapping deployments around.
Yeah.
And they are using all of those label stuff and so on. That's the case, right? Use case.
Yeah. Yeah.
But good question.
Cool. Any questions, guys, to Piotr or anyone else? Okay, then we end quickly and give you some time back. Thank you for today, and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.